Welcome to the Killer Author Club, everybody. We are so glad that you are here with us. And boy, do we have a chat for you tonight. So we are welcoming the wonderful Ashley Winstead. She's in the Clubhouse today. So make sure that you grab your cocktail, sit tight, and we will see you on the flip side.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Welcome, everybody. And we are so excited to be here tonight. We are the Killer Author Club. I'm here with Killer Kimberly, Killer Kara, and our special guest, Killer Ashley Winstead. And so we already are getting a huge crowd here. So thank you for being here. Drop a note in the comments to let us know that you're with us. Let us know where you're from. And also, as we move along, make sure you drop your questions and comments in the comment box as well. If you're watching this on Facebook, check out our private group, Killer Author Club, where we talk about books, we talk about other authors, killing, everything all day. So lots of fun. And if we don't get to your question tonight, we're sorry. We try to get to as many as we possibly can. But we have lots of things planned for the future on our Killer Author group. So members only swag is coming your way. So make sure that you join the group so you have access to that and other giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, oh my gosh, have we got one for you? Killer Kimberly's is running a Goodreads giveaway for Kimberly's upcoming book, The Personal Assistant. 30 copies are up for grabs there. So watch for the link in the comments. And I got a peek into that. I know Kara did too. It is a thrill ride and you want to get your hands on it. And if you get your hands on it early, better yet. And also make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, because tonight we don't just have one giveaway. We don't just have 2 giveaways. We have 3 copies of our guest book to give away. The link to everything, watch the comments, and also check out our Killer Author Club website at killerauthorclub.com. And now, without further ado, Kara, will you please introduce our killer guest?
You know, I would love to. Ashley Winstead is the author of the critically acclaimed thrillers In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. I love that story. And the forthcoming The Last Housewife, out August 19th, as well as the romance novel Fool Me Once. She holds a PhD in contemporary American literature and a BA in English and art history from Vanderbilt, where I also went, but my experience in college was a little bit different than yours, Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Based on the books, you know, I loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife because I could picture Kirkland and all that stuff. So fun. Anyway,
we have to talk about that. That's so exciting.
Yeah. So now, Ashley, can you please give us your elevator pitch for The Last Housewife?
Okay, yes. So this is me trying really hard to do it. Okay. So The Last Housewife follows a woman who goes undercover in a patriarchal sex cult to find out the truth about what happened to her friend who has turned up dead on their old college campus.
Perfect.
Okay.
It kind of gave me the chills too, which is
great.
Yeah. Elevator pitch.
I'm still workshopping that. So this
was a great elevator pitch.
Thank you. You did a great job. All right, we'll talk more about the book in a minute, but for now, everyone settle in for the killer cocktail of this episode. Kimberly, can you tell us about the cocktail?
Yes. So Ashley's choice was a wifey's dirty vodka martini, and I'm so glad you brought this up because I love a dirty vodka martini, and I kind of always forget about them when I'm making a cocktail. Ashley, you want to tell us about why you chose this drink and what you're drinking tonight and why? Because you're our kind of guest.
Yes, I have confession to make. So I chose a dirty vodka martini because when I'm not drinking red wine, which is, you know, my go-to, then I'm drinking this drink. It's simple. I love brine and salt, and it's so good that I drank too much of it and drank up all the vodka in my house. So now I am drinking red wine. So I'm sorry I didn't bring the dirty vodka martini, which I love the dirty wife title. Like that's what I'm calling it from now on. So there's that.
I love it.
Yes, and I loved how you put in your recipe ice cold, like a killer's heart. Yeah, so perfect. I mean,
Work that descriptive language in there.
Love it.
So good.
Perfect.
Cheers.
All right. So next we are going to get into our killer question. And so tell us, I'm going to find the right one here.
We gotta get our graphic.
We do. Ashley, how do you kill in your books without any spoilers?
That's hard. Sorry.
Oh, no, this is amazing, and I just have to say I'm like so thrilled to be here answering this question. Thank you. I kill in so many ways. Are we talking method or process? Like
Okay.
Okay. So in The Last Housewife, I wanted something, it's all about intimacy. And so I was thinking about the most intimate ways one person could kill another. And I'm gonna, the hard part here is gonna be not trying to spoil it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the killing that you get in The Last Housewife, which is a lot, is very kind of intimate, close kinds of killing. And so I had to do a lot of research into how to kill someone at very close range and kind of the psychology behind killing someone that you have a great attachment to. And I put a lot of that research into the podcast, actually, that is part of the book. So I feel like that's too vague for readers who haven't read the book yet, but I hope that's okay.
No, but I think especially the part about killing at close range, that's a really good, without giving away what happens in the book, a really good way of talking about the types of killing that are in this particular story, especially one big one. I want to know, like, where did this story come from? How does this pop into your head? Because it is, we were talking about this before the broadcast too a little, it's out there. And like, how does that pop into your head?
You know, I got really, really down a rabbit hole in cults. So I've been fascinated by cults for a long time. After writing In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which has it features a really big group of friends. And I was thinking a lot about group dynamics after that book. And that one thing led to another. And I just became fascinated with cults, and in particular, NXIVM and the Sarah Lawrence sex cult. Both obviously true stories. And I think the thing that grabbed me about those books was that, you know, you saw it splashed all over the news. These young women, or, you know, just successful women who had so much power, money, capital, fame in some cases with NXIVM. And and Sarah Lawrence, you know, the story goes that a girl brought her father into her dorm to live with her and her dorm mates, and he slowly inculcated them into a cult. So I was just fascinated by the question of what's the psychology of being a woman, finding yourself embroiled in something like that, and slowly handing over your autonomy and your power to men who, let's be honest, like consistently, you're like, why him? You know, when you see the news breaks and the cult is revealed, and you're like, that guy? And so I needed to know. And so it started out as this idea like, oh, I'm going to explore the psychology of this really rare thing that happens. Most of us won't end up in a cult. And I swear to you, by the time I was done writing this book, I was like, oh my God, we're all somehow, we're all in different ways, especially women, and the way that we're like taught and conditioned to make ourselves small in ways and submit. And there's just so much, like, we're all kind of in a cult. And so I just flipped.
And smart women too, like, not the people that I don't know if you would expect, but people who you think, okay, well, it's a certain type of woman who would fall prey to that. But like, these are smart women. They go to a very liberal school, but maybe they have some sort of family situation from their past that makes them a little bit more vulnerable. But it's not always the people that you would expect, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and I like kind of operated from a place of like empathy and sameness. Like, I approached the characters in Housewife thinking like, okay, what if it were me? How would I fall prey to this? And I think that there's just, it was, so I guess I'll confess, it's a lot of self-interrogation in this book as a feminist woman, thinking about the different ways that like I myself am complicit. And here I am in a dress, full face of makeup, I know why I love it. But it's like that. I wanted to do that deep level of interrogation of like, why do I love it? Why does it feel good? And when people, because you've heard it from other people that it's attractive. Okay, well now the power starts to leak out of you and reside in other people. So I really just wanted to chase that to the extremes and put it in the context of a cult.
Yeah.
Well, and I think this is like a great book for book clubs and discussion, and discussing a lot of what you just mentioned. But Ashley, we have a quote here from another killer author who I came across this quote on Twitter from Megan Collins, whom we love here on Killer Author Club. And here's what she said about The Last Housewife. It's a rageful scream. It's a place to feel seen and scared. It's scared by where you feel seen. It's a mirror held to our society and our lives, showing the most grotesque reflection. And somehow there's hope there too, and love and connection and genuine warmth. And to be able to do that in a book, I mean, I think we're all sitting here as authors, is like, how do you put all that together? That's what we strive for as writers, where you can take readers on this, thrilling ride, but also, show that connection and warmth and love. How do you do that? We need to know.
I mean,
characters,
teach us.
with the plot.
Megan just really melted my heart. She's awesome, and that just kind of left me speechless. So thank you, Megan. If you're here, watch this. I thought of The Last Housewife as what I was trying to do was create like a braided or layered story structure, like 1001 Nights, which is one of the like inspiration texts for this book. So you have Scheherazade telling this story to the king, as the myth goes, and then keeping him on the hook every night with more of the story to keep him from beheading her. So for those who don't know, in the end, Scheherazade is able to save her life, and as the prize for her cleverness, she gets to marry this king. So the thing I love about 1001 Nights is that it's structurally genius, and it's got all of these different layers of stories built within it. And I thought, there's no way I can do something like that, but what if I kind of Russian dolled stories within The Last Housewife? Like, what would I want to do? And so I kind of mapped all of this out. And when I say that, I really just mean Word doc, because I'm a simple creature who just like uses Word doc and doesn't do anything visually interesting. But and so you have all of these different threads running through the book of the podcast transcript. You've got the past, you've got the frame narrative of a woman who you don't know who's talking at first, who she is at first, and it's not revealed into the end. You've got, the really brutal story of the cult investigation. and then you have a love story. And so I just worked really hard throughout the planning to make sure I was braiding it all in as best I could. And, you know, as you all know this as writers, you know, that gut feeling you have when you're like, I am torturing my readers too much. It's time for some tenderness, or or the opposite. Like, we've been happy for too long. It's time to stab someone.
Yeah. And I read somewhere, I think you said that you wrote this like in some sort of crazy state. Did you write it really fast?
I didn't. I've joked that I wrote it in a fugue state because I can't actually remember the process of writing it like I can my other books. And I don't know what that means about it. But I think I did write it fast. It didn't feel fast at the time because, you know, you live in your book, in the world of your book while you're writing it. And so living in the housewife world was quite something for months.
Yeah.
I think I did write it fast. I think I wrote it, you know, in like 4 to 5 months.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is fast for me. I know other writers can like cut that in half or more, but
no, I'm not one of them. Kara is. Kara can just like pound out a book.
Oh, give me your skills and your ways.
I'm not sure that's
Heather and I take our time.
Yeah, those guys take. But when you did it in that, were you outlining first or just writing?
I always have to outline. Literally, I will get into dialogue beats, you know, action beats, everything in my outline. So sometimes and then I can't even start drafting the actual book until I've done that. Yes. And so I have this unwieldy.
You're my people.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, oh my God, you just like wrote a book in an outline. Why would you torture yourself like that? But
that would be what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like hell. Okay.
And sometimes it is because, you know, you risk boring yourself because you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen here. You know, I've already been here. But the plus side is sometimes I get to chapters and I'll look at my outline and be like, we already wrote this one. Like, it's pretty much just needs like a little copy pasting and
oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I do the same thing. And it's so easy. And dialogue is kind of, I guess, where my stories start in my head. So I'll have lots of snippets of dialogue that just need a little, you know, massaging. And I just like copy paste, stick them in. It's the greatest.
I love that.
So you're kind of helping yourself out that way. That's very nice. Like, I don't have myself helping myself because I haven't done anything.
I don't help myself out. I'm going to be a reformed pantser.
I know. I think we got to start working on that or something. Yeah. I don't know, Heather.
The pantser brain is just incredible, like a miracle to me because I don't trust myself enough.
I know. Yeah.
I shouldn't trust myself.
It is clearly working. I don't think you need to change a thing.
But it is true, Ashley. It's like, you know, because I have that too. I'm like, what if I do all this work and I get to the end and I can't figure out how to wrap it up or something? Or if I don't know who the killer is, or I don't know. I just like the security of, okay, this is how it's going to be structured. This is how it's, you know, and it differs. I mean, does it stay exactly the same when you're done?
Like it totally doesn't. So much changes as you go through, but it's like that scaffolding makes me feel safe enough to play, I guess.
Yeah.
Gives that security.
Yeah.
That's great. I can't.
Okay. And I don't want to, I don't want to like lead away from this story, but I do want to know how your brain works that you can write these 2 thriller novels and also a romance. Like, how does that happen?
That is a great question. I think it's just self-soothing. Like, you know, or my brain requires something different not to be bored. Yeah. Or, because, you know, I wrote In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and then while I was waiting to hear kind of what was going to happen with that, I needed to like live in a happy world. And then it was COVID and I really needed that. And so I thought, okay, I'll just for fun, I'll write a romance and just, you know, make myself really happy. And then after Fool Me Once, I was like, again, it's been too happy for too long. I craved the drama and the darkness.
Dark.
And after Housewife, I went and wrote like the most tender romance I've ever written because I needed to bounce back from what I did.
So which is easier to write?
Thrillers. Thrillers are easier for me to write just because I think it matches how I think a little bit more naturally.
Yeah. I love that you can bounce back and forth though. I think romances, I've never tried to write a full romance, but I've had some romance threads in my books sometimes and they're so hard. Like the build up and the banter, and I'm like, whew, I'm just gonna go kill somebody.
Yes. So much easier.
I had 2 years in romance, and then I realized I'm not good at the sex stuff. Like I had 2 series, and I'm like turning red when I'm trying to write. It was just funny. So I think I better jump back over to
I had that experience too, actually. I do. Those scenes, I'm like, okay, time to bust out, the wine or the martini because we're gonna write. And then, but nothing is worse than edits from your editor on sex scenes.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Horrible because it's very
technical.
technical.
Mean this?
It's very technical and gross and And then I had an assistant. She loved writing those scenes. So her name was Nancy. So I just put insert Nancy, and then she would write this.
Insert Nancy.
I was going to say, that sounds kind of sexy.
It was kind of, my romance way of saying something like sexy, but then I didn't write any. It was just funny. I just couldn't do it.
That's amazing.
Funny.
Anyway.
Insert Nancy. I'm going to start using that.
See, I'm red, like
she's already.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I love it so much.
You know what I think, Kimberly? It might be time for our giveaway.
Is it time for the giveaway? Okay. So, like Heather said, Ashley is giving away 3 copies of The Last Housewife. It's not out until the 19th. So that's 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
60. Sorry. So this is an early copy. 3 of them are up for grabs. All you have to do is answer this question about our killer guest tonight, and we'll come in tomorrow around this time and pick 3 winners. Bonus points for joining the club on Facebook. The link is in the comments, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. What subject does Dr. Winstead have a PhD in? So drop that answer in the comments, and like I said, we will come back around this time tomorrow and choose 3 winners. Whoop, whoop.
I will fly to you and hug you if you get this right, because it's so nice if you know.
We said it, though.
We said it.
We did.
And every episode, our author chooses an independent bookseller that is important to them. And so Ashley chose one of our favorites, Murder by the Book, in Texas. And they have signed copies, if I'm correct, for readers. So we will drop that link in the as well. So if you want a personal or a signed copy of The Last Housewife, make sure you go to that link and support your independent bookseller. So Ashley, why did you choose Murder by the Book?
I am so spoiled to have them in my backyard, to live here in Houston and have the country's largest crime fiction bookstore here. I love them so much. Everyone who works there is fabulous. And I try to go to as many events to see authors who come through Houston as possible. So I'm doing my launch with them too. So I just adore Murder by the Book.
Yeah, you are lucky. They're amazing.
Yeah, great.
Oh my gosh, they're fabulous.
And you guys check them out, their website out too, because I know that they do a lot of virtual events. And
so many virtual events, and they have so many signed copies of books that they carry. So
yeah.
Find it there.
And I love you guys in the comments helping each other out with the
I know.
answer.
We won't put that one up because it's a lot of right answers on there. So you're going to have to fly to a lot of places and hug a lot of people.
That's right. Oh my God.
I should be so lucky.
Oh my God.
Great.
All right. And now it's the time, I think, that I get to give you our badge of honor, Ashley, for surviving the Killer Author Club. And wait, Heather, do you have it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. There you go. So there's your very own. I survived. Sometimes it like takes over the whole screen, which has this time. But you know, you can now. You're a proud card-carrying, badge-carrying member of the Killer Author Club. So we will send you a copy of this, and you can put it wherever you want to, wherever you want to.
I will hang it behind me for virtual meetings so people know I'm official.
That'd be fun. I like
Thank
that.
you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you for being here. And we're starting a new little segment today.
And Kara, I think we're going to start that next time.
Oh, we're not starting that now because we're not ready.
Somebody on the screen didn't get the graphic up in time. So.
Thank you.
That's okay. You know what, you guys? Next time we will have another special
Sorry.
sequence. No, that's good. Then everybody's going to be guessing, like, what could it possibly
What is our next segment?
Creating suspense, the masters.
Yeah, it's called the Killer Author Club Celebrates.
Yeah.
So just to pique your interest. But we will come back with that next episode.
In 2 weeks. Yeah. In 2 weeks. All right. So that is it for our episode tonight. Thank you so much, Ashley, for being here and talking about your wonderful book. And everybody, put it on your Goodreads thing. Go get your copy of Murder by the Books. It is fabulous. I read a lot of books, and this was one that I read 100% for pleasure. I got like 2 pages in. I'm like, okay, everybody shut up. I've got some reading to do. It was fabulous. And I tore through it. It was amazing.
Thank you. I'm trying to remain cool, but I'm freaking out inside. Thank you so much.
So if you guys know us, you know that we do this every 2 weeks. And our next guest will be on August 19th. Same time, same places. And her novel was a New York Times and Publishers Weekly bestseller, the gripping tale of a young, ambitious journalist embroiled in an international art scandal centered around a Nazi-looted masterpiece. Who could it be? If you join the Killer Author Club Facebook group or go to any of our author pages in the next day or two, you will be able to find out if you don't know from our description. So thanks again, Ashley, for being here. Remember to follow us all on our Facebook pages and Instagram. Go get Ashley's book at Murder by the Book. It's the link is in the comments. And we will see you right back here in 2 weeks. In the meantime, make sure to go shopping on the killerauthorclub.com. We have lots of merch, fun stuff. So check that out. Oh, so cute. So thanks again for being here, and see you guys in 2 more weeks.
Thank
you for when you came.
Thank you.
I guess I'm a killer, threw our love into the river. Heard you